Hello friends, I welcome you all to my channel. This video is part of the playlist Python Basics Programming Beginner's Daily Dose, where I come up with videos on fundamental concepts of Python so that beginner level Python programmers or developers will get a better insight of how things work in Python behind the scenes. This is part 5 of the series of videos on working with the tuple, where I will discuss about the name tuple. It is a special type of tuple that gives meaning to the individual elements of a regular tuple. So let's get started. Okay, so on the left hand side I have written down all the notes, all the points that I will discuss about the named tuple. So first of all, there is a fact all the classes and the related methods and functions are defined in the module collections. So we have to first import, to use name tuple we have to first import collections. No, module collections. Okay, collections. Now there is a factory function called named tuple that helps us to create a tuple subclass with named fields. So what is a named tuple? A named tuple is a tuple subclass. It is a subclass of the regular tuple class, but which has named fields, meaning it gives names to the individual elements of a regular tuple. And the syntax of the named tuple is that the first parameter, the first argument is a string which will be the name of the type, meaning so you are creating a name tuple from which is a subclass of tuple. So it's better I will show with example. So let's say I want to I have items which is a tuple, which will be a tuple with a name with three attributes: the name of the item, the stock of the item, and the unit price of the item. So the first thing I have to do is I have to call name tuple, and the first parameter will be the name of the subclass that will be created or generated by this factory method, the name of the subclass. Since we are talking about item, it is recommended that the name of the subclass has to begin with a capital letter. So I will say item. It is a kind of, now this item will act as a name of the subclass. After then I need to specify the names of the fields or the names of the elements of the tuple or the names of the fields of this item subclass. Now this can be provided either with a sequence of strings like this. Let's say the fields of the item subclass are name, stock, and let's say unit price. Or you can specify like this, or you can also specify instead of the sequence of strings, you can also specify a single string, and where the name of the name of each field will be separated by a comma or a space. Okay, let's first use this, then I will show another example. Now the rename, now there is a one thing to note, that while giving names to the fields of the name tuple, that name must follow some rules. The rules are: it cannot start with a digit or underscore, the name cannot be a keyword in Python. Yeah, that's it. So I cannot have any name of the field which starts with underscore or digit, and it cannot be a keyword of a Python. Now the rename argument is a boolean argument which can be true or false. If I say false, rename false, then if if I provide some incorrect name of the fields in the second argument, then there can be some error. So to prevent that error, it's if I do rename equals to true, then what it will do is, if I specify a field name incorrectly as per the rules, let's say for some reason I have another field, let's say I give the name def. I cannot give the name def to a field, because def is a Python keyword. So if I do this and if I call this function, what will happen is, instead of def, the Python internally will name it with an underscore and the position of this element in the list, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. It will be 3. So this will happen for every name of the field if it is given an incorrect name. So I will read this. Now this is optional. For the sake of this video, I will not use this rename. And defaults. Defaults is a list of default values that you want to give to each named field. Like if I do defaults equals to, so the name, let's say milk, let's say name unknown, since default not known, stock is 0 and price is 0, I can do this. This means that when I will instantiate an item, instantiate an object of the subclass item, and if I do not specify the value to any of the, if I do not specify the value to the name attribute, then it will have the unknown string. If I do not specify the value to stock, it will have the default value of 0, and as well as if I do not pass a value to unit price, it will have default value of 0. So that is the defaults. You can provide a list of default values for all the named fields. I will ignore this for this video. And the last one is module. Module is if I specify something module, a string, then let's say ABC, then what will happen is, then any data object of the class item will have a module name as ABC. From any data object, you can know the module name with the underscore module underscore name. I think that is the syntax, underscore module underscore, maybe underscore module underscore name. I don't remember correctly. Anyway, these are not so important. Up to this is the important thing. Now, named tuple. So what does it return? It return a subclass of tuple which has the name item, and it is mandatory that you save the return value of named tuple with the same name as the name of the subclass, like this. This is mandatory. So if I do this, name tuple is not defined. Okay, I think I have to do collections. Yeah. So I have this item. Now if I do item, will I get something? Yeah, class type. Okay, whatever. So now we have this item. We can use item as a name, consider it as a subclass of tuple. This class exists, and we can create objects of this class item. Let's say I create. So this was the syntax for creating a named tuple subclass, named tuple, which is basically a subclass of tuple, using the factory method named tuple. Point 2 says that the returned new tuple subclass should be assigned to a variable with same name as type name. So this is just what I said, that it should be saved in a variable with the same name as the first argument to name tuple, which is the name of the tuple subclass. Okay. Now, how do we instantiate, how do we create objects of item? We create objects of the subclass item as item equals to normal, the way we use create instance of objects in Python, object oriented programming. Now, over here we will pass, we can pass the arguments to the named fields. We can either named, so we can do like this, we can pass the values to the item named fields with the name of the field, like we have name equals to, let's say, milk, and I can do stock equals to, stock is some, let's say 1000 and unit price, let's say whatever, I don't this doesn't matter. So this will instantiate an object of the subclass item, and it will store the store the object in the variable item. Now, the good thing about the name tuple is that it has a very its internal implementation of the representation protocol method. That is, if you check this method, it will have a nice printing. So you can see it shows the name of the subclass, name of the tuple subclass, which is item, and then with all the attribute names or the field names, it is showing the value. Now, so this was how we instantiate an object of the item subclass. Now, how do we access? Now, all the operations of a regular tuple will also work here for name tuple, meaning you can access the first element, which is the name attribute, like this. It will show milk, stock, unit price. But the easy way to access its named elements or fields is by directly providing the name of the field with a dot operator. This will also print milk, and stock, and unit price will show unit price. Now, since a name tuple is the subclass of a regular tuple class, you can iterate over all the data elements, like I can do for so let's say for field in I can do item, and if I do print field, what does it show? See, it prints the elements of the class item, which is a subclass of a tuple, in order. The way you have provided the field names while you called the name tuple factory function. Now, you can also obviously create slice out of this name tuple, because it's essentially a regular tuple, a subclass of tuple. Now, what else? Instances of tuple class inherits all functionality of a normal tuple data type, like iteration, foreign element access with indexing and slicing. Fields of tuple can be accessed by names. I've discussed this. Now, the named tuple, the class item here, has some extra methods. So has some extra methods which starts with underscore, which are handy. Like, instead of for creating an instance of the item class by passing all the arguments of the field names with the name, I mean this is one way of creating an instance of the item class, where you give the values to individual elements with their name. These are essentially key value, list of key value arguments. This is one way. Another way is to use the method underscore make. So let's say I create another item 2. I can do this like with item underscore make is the method, and it will take an argument, an iterable which will contain the values of the fields in order as you have mentioned while creating the name tuple using the name tuple function. So if I give make, I give let's say bread and let's say stock something say 50 and price let's say 34.5, I can do this and I can let's see what is item 2. So this is this. So this is another way of instantiating an object of the created named tuple subclass. Now okay, now you can convert, since you can understand that a name tuple is basically a tuple but which gives a meaningful name to each data elements. So we can somewhat think name tuple as a dictionary, but internally it doesn't maintain any kind of dictionary. No dictionary storage is there internally as the internal data structure of the name tuple. So it's quite memory efficient. Now we can convert a name tuple to a dictionary, to a regular dictionary with the as dict method. It will return a dictionary where all the keys will be the field names and the values will be the corresponding value of the field names. So we will get a dictionary. Now we can also check what are the we can also get the list of the field names from the name tuple with the fields method. It will return a list of strings which are the names of the fields. Type error. Why? Object is not callable. Item. Some named tuple dot fields. Oh, sorry. This will be not an instance of the item, but the item, the subclass itself. No, tuple object is not callable. Is it underscore fields? Oh no, item object has no attribute underscore fields. Did you mean fields? Okay, so I got it. This, it's not a method. Actually, it's some attribute. It's not a method. So I thought initially that it was a method. So I was calling it as a method. So it's just an attribute. If you do this, you will get the list of the attribute names, the field names of the name tuple. And if you want to access, if you want to access the value of a field name of a name tuple, where the field name is stored in a string. Let's say I do not know for some reason I do not know the exact name of a field, but it is stored for some reason in a variable. Let's say field name equals to, let's say stock. For some reason I do not know that the name is stock, but let's say it's there in some variable. Now from this variable, how do I access the value of the field whose name is stored in the field name from a name tuple? We have to use the method get attribute, and the first argument is the instance of the name tuple, it's item, and the second argument is the variable which has the name of the field, so field name, so it shows 100. Okay, if I do this for item 2, I should get 50. Okay, yeah, that is all for this was a very brief overview about the name tuples in Python and how and there are really good use cases where a name tuple is preferred over a regular tuple, which if possible I will try to address that in a future video in another series of video. Maybe I will make a dedicated series of videos on name tuple, because there is a lot to discuss on that. But for the sake of completeness of the working with tuple series of videos, I thought of giving a very brief overview on tuples, on name tuples. So that was all. If you found this video beneficial, then please support me by subscribing to my channel, like this video, share this video with your friends and colleagues, and also do not forget to press the bell icon so that you will be notified by my future videos. That's all, friends. Until the next video, take care and bye.